Hello everyone, I am Upasana, a CA final student, and in this video I will be explaining the concept of reverse charge mechanism and partial reverse charge mechanism in service tax. We all know that service tax is generally payable by the person providing the service who actually collects the tax and pays to government. But Section 68 subsection 2 of Finance Act 1994, which deals with reverse charge mechanism, states that in respect of certain notified taxable services by the central government, the service tax thereon shall be paid by the service receiver. That means under reverse charge mechanism, instead of the service provider, the service receiver is made liable to pay service tax. Now, applicability of reverse charge mechanism depends upon the status of service provider, nature and description of service, and the status of service receiver. Now, let's see to which services reverse charge mechanism is applicable. The first service is of insurance agents, where services are provided by insurance agents to any person carrying on insurance business. Now in this case, the person who receives the services, that is the person carrying on insurance business, is liable to pay service tax. In case of goods transport agency, where goods are transported by road and the person who is liable to pay freight is either a registered factory or a registered society, or a cooperative society or a registered dealer, body corporate, partnership firm, whether registered or not, or an association of persons, then such person who is liable to pay freight will also be liable to pay the service tax. But in case such a person is located in a non-taxable territory, then service provider shall be liable to pay service tax. In case of sponsorship services, where the service provider provides services to any body corporate or partnership firm located in a taxable territory, such body corporate or partnership firm receiving the sponsorship services will be liable to pay service tax. In case of legal services, where the service provider is an arbitral tribunal or an individual advocate or a firm of advocates, and the services are provided to any business entity located in a taxable territory, such business entity receiving the legal services will be liable to pay service tax. In case of government services, where support services are provided by government or local authority, except for the services of renting of immovable property and services specified in subclause 1, 2 and 3 of clause A of section 66D of the Finance Act 1994, and the services are provided to any business entity located in the taxable territory, then the business entity receiving the services will be liable to pay service tax. In case of director service, where a director provides services to any company, the said company which receives the services of the director will be liable to pay service tax. In case of import of services, where the service provider is located in a non-taxable territory and the service receiver is located in a taxable territory, the recipient of such service is liable to pay service tax. Now, with effect from 1st July 2012, a new scheme of partial reverse charge mechanism is brought into effect, under which the central government notifies the services and the extent of service tax which shall be payable by the service receiver and the service provider. That means under partial reverse charge mechanism, both the service receiver and the service provider are made liable to pay service tax. For partial reverse charge mechanism to be applicable, it is necessary that the service provider is located in a taxable territory and falls under one of the following categories, that is, he is either an individual or a Hindu undivided family or a partnership firm, whether registered or not, or an association of persons, and the service receiver is also located in a taxable territory and is a business entity registered as a body corporate. Now, three services are notified under partial reverse charge mechanism. The first one is the service of manpower supply. If such a service is provided, the service provider is liable to pay 25% of the service tax and service receiver is liable to pay 75% of the service tax. In case of work contract service, 50% of the service tax is to be paid by the service provider and the balance 50% is to be paid by the service receiver. In case of rent-a-cab service, if such a service is provided by renting of motor vehicle designed to carry passenger on abated value, that is, the service provider is not availing the abatement of 60% available under such a service, and the services are provided to any person who is not in similar line of business. The whole of the service tax payable is to be paid by the service receiver. In case a similar service is provided on non-abated value to any person who is not in the similar line of business, 60% of service tax is to be paid by service provider and the balance 40% is to be paid by the service receiver. So this was all about reverse charge mechanism and partial reverse charge mechanism in service tax. Thank you.